Okay, so I've been receiving a lot of comments saying that my aunt said something in a video about me. I have no idea what y'all are talking about because I did attempt to watch the video, right? I opened it and I heard, "You're not mentally ill, you're just stupid." And I stopped the video. There's a very, very good reason that I stopped the video there. That was all I needed to hear because I realized that it was going to go straight into the same bullying that I dealt with for the majority of my life. My family has fought for years over my mental health. They have been staunch deniers that there is anything wrong, regardless of anybody else who tries to tell them differently. When I was a child, there were teachers at the school that wanted me to get help. They thought that I needed a therapist, that they would have come to the school to speak to me because they were so dead fast that I needed to speak to somebody. My parents ripped that letter up and threw it away. And the school went around them to my grandmother. My grandmother consented. And it caused a huge fight between my grandmother and my parents. The abuse in that house was so bad that my parents couldn't risk me getting therapy because they were afraid of what I might say. So, for years and years and years, my very clear mental health problems and emotionally stunted attitudes were ignored and chalked up to me just being stupid and lazy and a crybaby, a whiner. A part of you knows that that's not true. A part of you knows that I am mentally unwell. But you can't admit it to yourself after 36 years of denying it. When I tell you people that the years I was homeless were actually the easiest years of my life, it's because I was no longer in contact with anybody in my family. Once I no longer had anything for them to take, they ignored me completely, and my life started to get better. I started seeking treatment, seeing a therapist, seeing doctors, taking medications. And no, it didn't get better overnight. I had to try many different medications before we got on a cocktail that started to work. And then unfortunately, I got my Section 8 and my family came back into my life to spread seeds of hatred and anger and infuriate people and send them to my channel to harass and attack me and abuse me for them. Because they're no longer able to abuse me in person. They now have hundreds that fully believe my mental disorders that I am medicated for and seeking treatment for are just made up. They believe that I walked into the mental health clinic and I told them what I wanted them to believe I had. And then I started taking pills for something that I didn't really have. It's commitment. I'll give you that. And have you ever known me to be that committed to anything, Kathy? I mean, that is bad on me, but am I that committed of a person? No. I am not. The reason I've stayed on the medication and stayed with the treatment is because it worked. It started to, at least, before you came back. I read things about what you're supposed to do if you have family that completely denies your mental health issues. And the biggest thing they said was to have an honest heart-to-heart discussion with them. And I can't do that with my family because they would not believe me anyways. It doesn't matter that I'm telling the truth. They are in such denial of mental health issues. Kathy has said that there is absolutely no history in our family of mental health problems. And that is the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard in my life. Because I had an Aunt Sonia in Florida who was bipolar, and she used to run away, same as I used to do. And then I had another aunt, I don't know if you'd call it a mental illness, she was a heavy alcoholic. You don't get to be one if there's nothing wrong upstairs. I mean, a lot of people turn to alcohol to self-medicate for mental health issues that there is shame to ask for help for, like depression, or bipolar, or schizophrenia, or what they would now be labeling as schizoaffective disorder, which is bipolar and schizophrenia kind of combined, a little bit of both. You're really gonna deny that my own mother ain't all upstairs? She was never medicated, but she was extremely bipolar. After, I say she was never medicated. She was not medicated when I was a child. When I was a child, she was wild. She was on drugs, she was on alcohol, she was being beat nightly. She didn't seem to give a fuck. She would still get in his face the next night. She would still get drunk and go running down the street, barking at dogs, found sleeping in a ditch. She didn't give a fuck. Okay. A lot of that don't give a fuck is bipolar. It's a very distorted way of living, of feeling like that chaos is kind of normal, kind of the way things are supposed to be. I mean, it's really not. At one point when my mom lived with me and my grandmother, I had to have her arrested because she got drunk and she hit my grandmother. During the time that she was in jail, she got a lesser sentence because she agreed to go to mental health and get help. And at that time, she was on medications, the same types of medications I'm on now. Now, I don't know if she continued to take them, but a prison doctor or, jail doctor, whatever, they did determine that there was something wrong and she needed to seek therapy and she needed a little bit of help. My great-grandmother spent the majority of her adult life in the mental hospital. And we were always told that it was because it was back in the days when men could put women in the mental hospital for anything at all and just leave them there. But we don't know for sure that there wasn't anything wrong. That wasn't passed down to all of us. My own father committed suicide. When you go around telling people that there is no history of mental health issues in our family, are you forgetting that my father, the man who created me and raised me off and on for 18 years, put a gun to his own head? Now, you may not agree that only a mentally ill person would do that, but I think it's a pretty messed up thing to deny. I am tired of my struggles being denied by the people who were supposed to be the most supportive of them. I truly thought that I really was just broken and horrible before I found out that there really was something wrong with me, and the medication made it better. Until y'all came back, things were getting better. I was having days where I felt genuinely happy. I was finding joy in the games that I was playing and the things that I was doing. That went away because my family came back. And they came back with hundreds of supporters determined to punish the liar who's not mental but just stupid. I can't have an open and honest discussion about mental health with my family because they refuse to listen openly and honestly. And that's why I can't have any kind of relationship with anybody in my family. Ever. It's why I won't even give them chances. Y'all realize that the very first time Kathy messaged me on Facebook, I blocked her? How many death threats have I received that I still haven't blocked Owen Lopez? I blocked him a couple of times, but I stopped blocking him. Every time somebody in my family makes a new account and messages me, I instantly block them. Because I know that no good will come of it for my mental health. I'm gonna ask people to stop telling me what she says in my comments because it's not good for my mental health. But I know you're not going to listen. I'm just praying that maybe there are a few people out there that are listening that might understand and start speaking up for your friends who have problems that are being laughed at, mocked, and outright denied by their own family, by their own friends.